Hey everybody, how's it going today? Justin the Red Island Shaver coming at you with another video in the introductory series. So this is a brief introduction to Shavettes. As always, we have a cup of coffee brought to you by Rockwell Razors. Friends don't let friends use cartridge razors, and that's the truth. We do not. So, Shavettes. I will admit I do not have a ton of experience with Shavettes. Predominantly, I'm a straight razor shaver. I do have a couple Shavettes. I only use one at the moment. I might start using the other one. It was gifted to me by Ken Mergensen at Cal Shaves. I just haven't got the guts to use it though, and I will explain why. So, Shavettes are basically like straight razors, except they use either a half DE blade, or some models will use a fuller length blade, or I shouldn't say fuller length blade, a longer kind of half DE blade, or they're more, I'm trying to think of the word, they're more purposeful. I guess the razor was designed with a longer blade, but basically they look like a straight razor, and they handle like a straight razor. You shave the same way with them. This is an Equinox, I do believe. And Equinox, this one's all stainless steel, but I mean, to use it the same way, you open it up, you hold it, same way as a straight razor. To load this particular one, just pull the tab off the top, and then you have the two sides here, and they just pull apart thusly. There's no blade in here, so I'm not worried about getting my fingers or anything. So you're supposed to pull apart easily. This is more difficult than it should be. It would help if I move the loading mechanism all the way out of the way. And this is one of the pitfalls about Shavettes too, is trying to get these buggers loaded sometimes. Because obviously when you're handling it, you have a blade in there. So you would put the blade in here on the pins, and then try and keep everything in place while not touching the leading edge of the blade. Clip that down, and then clip that, and then your blade would be loaded. The only thing I don't like about these types of Shavettes is the corners of your blade are exposed, and that's usually where you're going to cut yourself with one of these. The common theme with Shavettes are, if you're a DE user and you're looking to get into straight razors, a lot of people will suggest go with Shavettes. They're easier. And from my personal experience, I think that's wrong. I think these are intrinsically more difficult to use than a straight razor. For one thing, a lot of these are lighter than a straight razor. So you have that going against you. You don't have the weight of that blade. Also, with using these, you have a mechanically sharpened blade that is fairly rigid. Like for all, a DE blade is fairly rigid, and especially in something like this, or in the Focus that I'm going to show you as well. There's not really a whole lot of blade showing, so there's really no blade flex. On a straight razor, I know the blade looks formidable, you know, especially like a 6/8 or a 7/8, but what you don't realize is the edge of that blade is pretty much microscopic, and it will bend. It bends back and forth. They will usually give you a bit of warning before they will cut you. A Shavette, however, will not. It will cut you. It will hack you to pieces if your technique isn't kind of right there. So that's kind of the pitfall I have with Shavettes. As an experienced straight razor user, I like using Shavettes, but for me that comes after the experience of using straight razors. For me, I don't think the natural progression would be to go from DEs to Shavettes if you're looking for an easier transition. But of course, keep in mind, this is my opinion only. But I think if you're looking for an easier transition, it would be easier to go from DEs to straight razors and then get your technique down with a straight razor, which has a little bit more room for error, and then move into Shavettes. Once your technique, especially your ambidextrous technique, switching from your right hand to your left hand, once that is down pat and your touch is down pat, then that would be the time to move on to one of these. But that's my opinion. So the other Shavette I have is the Focus Slim. Same idea, it works the same way. Opens up, you hold it the same way. This is super, super light, so you really need a deft hand with this because it is so light. Because really, when you get back into the rigidity of the blade and the mechanical sharpness of the blade, there really is no room, no margin for error with one of these either. So you don't want to start putting pressure, because you'll end up with the same results as if you use too much pressure with a DE razor. You will get cut to pieces. The one thing I like about this is it's a little easier to load. So as you can see there, you have the channels and the pins, and it's just that simple. So now obviously I don't have a blade in this one either, but you just slide it forward and let it drop down. Usually I do it upside down, so I will do it this way. So put the blade in, a half DE blade, it sits on those pins, and then you just slide that down like that, and then pull it in. Now this is very loose without a blade in it. Once you put a blade in there, once you get everything lined up, you actually have to use a little bit of pressure here in the front to close it. And once this is closed fairly tight. I actually have a bit of problems getting this open to remove the blade, but that's a good thing because you know that this is not going to open on you while you're shaving, because if it did, it could dislodge the blade, then you end up with the blade kind of coming out sideways and you're going to get hurt. The one thing I really like about this one is the bevels, and then right down, see how easy that is to move, right down here on the very bottom. If there was a blade in here, the heel and the toe of the blade are covered. So all you're getting is the leading edge of the blade. You don't get those sharp little corners that will poke you. And that's why I went with this one. This one was $81. I think these are around $20. Big price difference, but for me, I find this one a lot easier to use. And then there's way more different styles of Shavettes too. Feather makes a bunch of good ones. They are the Camisori style, and they have yet again a different loading mechanism. I think you squeeze the top of the spine, and it's on a spring, and it pops open. And then you just drop the blade in and release it, and it snaps shut. You have other Shavettes that use an insert, so basically it's a plastic sleeve that pulls out. A lot of those ones typically take the longer blades. So you just put the half blade in there, you snap the insert closed, and you slide into the end of the Shavette, and away you go. So there's lots of different choices out there. It all comes down to personal preference, what your style is, what catches your eye, and build quality. Like I said, this Focus Slim is all aluminum. It's incredibly light, but it's incredibly well built and to very tight tolerances, which is very nice. So chances are high I'm going to be putting a blade in this probably today or tomorrow and get rid of this scruffy face that I have going on. And this will be on camera on the weekend. Promise Cal Shaves, I'll do a Shavette video because I think he's going to do one as well. So there's really not much I have to say about them. Other than that, I guess the other thing is the ease of maintenance. A lot of people kind of, they get thinking, I want to get into straight razors. I don't want to get into the maintenance. So these, a half DE blade, you use it till it's dull. Chuck it just like your regular full-size DE blades and give it a wipe down. If it's high quality, you don't have to worry about rusting, stuff like that. Yes, the straight razors take a little bit more maintenance, but in the long run, not really. That's the big misconception. Basically, you get a good strop and you strop it before each shave. dry it off really well, and put it away. And that's all you need to do to get into straight razors. You don't need honing stones. There's plenty of guys that do that. You can send them out for a token fee and get them done. Like my guy charges $20 per razor to get a full set of stones. I'm probably looking at well over $1,000 or more. So I'm going to get a lot of honings done before I ever get to that $1,000 threshold, right? But anyway, we're kind of getting off the topic. But so that's the misconception like people have, is like, oh, well, I don't want to get into, you know, the straights, or I don't want to drop a bunch of money on a straight razor and then not like it, so I'm going to get a Shavette and see how I like doing that. Well, like I said, this right here set you back $81. You can get a beginner straight razor from a reputable guy for, you know, 30, 40, 50 bucks, somewhere around there. And I mean, in those feathers I was talking about, I think one of them, the Feather Artist stainless steel, I think he retails here in Canada for north of $300 Canadian. So you can get into some pretty serious money with these things too. But as a tool for somebody that's, you know, used to straight razor shaving, I think they're a great part of the arsenal, especially if, you know, for me, one of the reasons I bought this was, if, you know, my blades are starting to get dull, I have to send a bunch out to get honed, and I want to keep my chops up. You know, keep shaving the same way I always shave. Well, that's where this comes in. And then this also comes in handy in the days I just don't feel like stropping a straight razor. I don't feel like having to dry it off or do whatever. Just reach for this. I know I'm going to have a good shave, wipe it off, throw it back in its holder that I have, and carry on. But really, that's about all I have for this. Like I said, just a brief introductory video to Shavettes. Highly subjective, like everything else in this hobby, but you know, it's something you want to think really long and hard about if you are looking at getting into them as a means to get into straight razor shaving. Take what I said with a grain of salt. You might be better off and might have better experiences just going right into straight razors and then transitioning to these. Or if you have the touch, then you might do well with these right from the get-go. Of course, these are my opinions, and feel free to discuss in the comments below. So that's all I have for this week. For Outside the Den, hopefully you guys will tune in on Saturday. Don't know what I'm doing for a shave soap yet. I'll figure it out between now and Saturday. I know I'll be using this. I'll be using one of my nice kick-ass brushes. Maybe I'll grab the Spiffo brush, the green and green. We'll see what takes place. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate it. As always, friends, have a great day and an even better shave. We'll catch you on Saturday.